Hey everyone, it's Eric again from the Landing Ministry, and I'm here completing our third video for our training processes. Today we're going to be talking about how should I step and where do I fit in. Most of us that are coming into the Landing have gone through a recovery program of our own, but that does not limit us to folks that are only coming out of recovery-based programs. We believe and welcome and welcome all adult leaders who are feeling called to the Landing Ministry. So for those of us coming out of recovery-based programs, we definitely totally understand what it looks like to come out of a step study, specifically if you're coming out of Celebrate Recovery. If you're coming from other recovery programs, then you know there are step-based programs. For example, 12-step AA, right? That's another example. So we have had that full experience. If you have not had that experience of a step study, typically that's anywhere from a 6-month to a year-long commitment. And we would highly encourage you to participate in something like that, which might delay your service and time, ministry time to the Landing. But we really feel like if that's something that you feel God is calling you to, we definitely want to have healthy leaders who fully understand the structure of our recovery programs. And there's nothing like going through a step study. You're never able to replace that. But if you feel like you just cannot commit that level of time and you want to get started a little bit quicker, then we would definitely say it is mandatory for all of our leaders to read a book that we have adopted. And that's really John Baker's book, who is the founder of Celebrate Recovery, and it's entitled Life's Healthy Choices. What I'm going to try to do right now, and I'm praying that it's going to work, is I'm going to screen share with some of you guys. So hopefully you're seeing this now. Life's Healthy Choices is subtitled Freedom from Hurts, Habits, and Hangups. And what it is it's a book that really deals with 3 things. It teaches us to live out 8 biblical decisions that lead to healing. It teaches us to take practical steps to implement life-giving choices. And it definitely is meant to be an encouragement. They encourage through a lot of personal testimony and lives that have been transformed through these processes and ministries and recovery-based programs. John Baker is an amazing man. I've had the opportunity of witnessing the fullness and extent of his ministry as I went to their yearly training recently. We as a church are committed to provide you with these resources, but we definitely want to also encourage you to purchase it on your own and have it for your own library so that you're not just having to check it out from us, but you're always going to be able to have access to that. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stop screen sharing and hopefully get back to my face. Not only do we want to make it mandatory for all Landing leaders to read that book and then debrief with me or my wife, Patty, after reading it, and we can answer any questions you may have. We also want to make sure that you feel very clear about where you fit in. In the best case scenario, where people would fit in is, number one, they'd be open to doing some teaching so that there's a diversity of faces that some of our students are seeing, and it limits burnout for some of us. But we don't definitely understand that not everybody's a teacher. The curriculum makes the teaching very easy because you follow a very simplified process and guideline, and it gives you all the content. You just have to communicate it. But if you don't feel like you're a good teacher, the best case scenario is you'd be willing to teach, you'd be willing to lead a portion of the evening, whether that be the welcome, the key tag, the connect activity, which we all rotate doing these things. Maybe you're a worshiper and you fit in there and you really feel like, hey, I could contribute by leading worship or playing an instrument or leading a song or selecting a song and printing out the lyrics for everybody and debriefing after we see that worship video in our group setting. Hey, maybe, so that would be the best case scenario, right? Also being willing to lead a small group and breaking off with the smaller ratio and doing that well. That would also be a best case scenario where you could do all these things. But we know that's not always going to be the case. So maybe you simply feel like you can contribute to the food and the meals that we provide weekly. I know my wife, that's where she feels her strong suit is. She cooks with love and on a weekly basis brings home cooked meals. but she really needs some help and support there. So maybe you can help take that over. Or maybe you want to be a person that's developing student leaders in the landing, and you feel like you develop leaders well. I can help provide that structure to that leadership development program that we have in place. Maybe you feel like you're just a good energy person and you show a lot of love, so welcoming is all you'll do, or connect activity. Whatever you feel God is calling you to, we want you to definitely feel empowered to be a part of that. At the end of this video, I want you to pray and ask God where it is He wants you to be involved. Be mindful of this. Sometimes God wants us to do new things to stretch us and develop us. Sometimes we know exactly where God's calling us, and we've been gifted specifically to meet those needs. And we just want you to be sure and confident that those are the spaces that you're being called to. You'll after this training, you'll sit down with me and have one more final conversation, and we hope to get you plugged in after you've watched these videos, after you've read our book, and of course, by this time you would have already submitted an application and gotten this far. So I'm excited about your potential partnership in ministry with the Landing. There's a lot of amazing leaders that you'll meet. And of course, you're going to meet a lot of amazing students. And I know God's going to do a big thing for you. So may the Lord bless you. And I hope to see you guys soon.